Well, it has been cold outside a little bit here in Louisiana, cold enough to make chili, but chili for some of us, myself included, can sometimes be a complicated affair. So what if you don't have the time? In this month's edition of Holly Clegg's Trim and Terrific Kitchen, Holly and AJ show us how you can have a soup ready in under 20 minutes using Louisiana beef that's better than most chilies. Here comes the music.
Holly Clegg's Trim and Terrific Kitchen is brought to you by the Louisiana Crawfish Promotion and Research Board, Louisiana Crawfish, Ask Before You Eat, and by the Louisiana Rice Promotion Board, Rice, a world of great ideas, and by the Louisiana Beef Industry Council. Beef, it's what's for dinner.
Hey there, friends and neighbors. I'm AJ Sabine, and welcome to Holly Clegg's Trim and Terrific Kitchen. Of course, along with the beautiful and talented Holly Clegg. And Holly, I understand we're taking a trip south of the border with Louisiana beef.
We are. It's still cold outside, and chili takes a long time to cook, and I think it's a good soup weather, so I have a fabulous Southwestern soup, sort of a combination of a chili and a soup, but quick to make if you don't have time to cook.
Well, let's get started.
Okay, come on over. Come into my kitchen. Okay, we're going to start with our wonderful Louisiana beef. And I know y'all have heard me say this numerous times, but it's so important. Your leanest cuts of beef in a loin or a round. So this is ground sirloin, and it is a little more pricey, but honestly, there's not as much fat, and it's great. And I happen to be partial to ground meat, and my kids love ground meat. So this is a recipe that I'm too tired to cook. I can come home and whip up with no time at all.
In fact, Holly, you mentioned that sirloin is very lean. There are actually at least 10 cuts of beef that qualify as lean, and beef provides over 29 essential nutrients.
And it actually absorbs iron quicker than otherwise. So, hey, it's not only is it good to eat, it's good for you. And then we're just going to add onions, and this is just our base. And you just want to cook this till your meat browns, and I mean, what could be better? Onions and garlic we're going to add, and ground meat as our base. And then we're just going to really add a bunch of ingredients and put it on the stove to cook. So it's very simple to make, and it has tons of flavor. Great ingredients you're going to see.
Holly, how long does this take to prepare? Like if I'm a mom and I've got hungry kids to feed at home, how long will this take me to make this recipe, let's say if I'm getting off of work?
Well, actually, the longest part is you want to, brown your meat and onions. And this can be made in a crock pot as well. I know in Kitchen 101 I included a crock pot chapter because so many people like to make, recipes ahead of time, put them on the, but you brown your meat first. Okay, now you see the meat is brown, it's done, and there's onions. So now we're just going to add the remaining ingredients. I had fun. I bought, this is roasted tomato salsa, and you can buy different kinds of salsa. It costs for 1 cup of salsa. I like the chipotle, adds that smoky flavor. So you can sort of change up this recipe to your liking. And I love anything with roasted. And then Rotel tomatoes, and watch it if you want the mild, so it's not as spicy, or you could even use regular roasted tomatoes. And then, of course, as I said, we have to have a little garlic, a little chili powder. And what makes this recipe a little milder, it's not loaded with chili powder. It just has a little bit, and cumin gives it that smoky flavor. And now we have to turn it into soup. So we're adding 2 cups of water to the recipe. And you can see it has great colors. And then we're just going to add some corn. It's 2 cups of frozen corn. And last but surely not least, our Louisiana yams, which you probably wouldn't think of Louisiana yams in a soup, but I add, anytime a recipe calls for potatoes, I also always substitute the yams because it adds that natural sweetness. And really with the spice, y'all have seen me make that shrimp, corn, and sweet potato soup. So that's what gave me the idea for this, because you have that natural sweetness of the yams with the Southwestern spices. It's just a great combination of flavors. Now, you want to bring this to a boil. I think you could really do this. It's so simple. You bring it to a boil, and you just want to cook it till your sweet potatoes are tender, maybe 20 minutes or so. So it's not like a chili where it has to sit for hours. It is done. So let's turn this off, and of course, with the magic of TV, you can see. We're going to bring it over here, and you always say the proof is in the tasting, so.
That's right, and folks, when we come back, Holly's going to show us how this looks when it's dished out. Plus, she's got an interesting and sort of a wild side dish to go with this beautiful Southwestern soup. Stay there, folks. We'll be right back. All right, folks, we're back, and thank you so much for sticking with us. And Holly, you always say cook with color. Folks, check how colorful this soup is.
He has learned it, and I hope you all have as well. This is great. You could smell how good it does. We're just going to dish out. Took minutes to make. You see you have your sweet Louisiana yams, your wonderful Louisiana beef. You know, we're very fortunate in Louisiana because we do have such good products. And I make the best cornbread to go with it. So this is actually a cornbread with some green peppers and onions, so I loaded it up for you.
You know what? I cannot wait to dive into this recipe. And you have cornbread to go with it?
Absolutely. Now, you know, I wanted these with leftovers. I use leftovers, and a lot of people don't realize rice freezes well, but I had some wild rice left over last night, so I thought, let me show you what I did. I sauteed some red and green peppers, which are loaded with vitamin C, tossed it with my Louisiana wild rice, and you have a new side. It could be a good vegetarian entree as well. So Louisiana rice, we have Louisiana beef, Louisiana yams, and I live in Louisiana.
So are you going to keep the folks at home in suspense, or can I taste this?
The proof is in the tasting.
Okay, great.
Now it might be hot, smoking hot, but not seasoning hot.
I'm going to blow it. I'm going to blow
You
on
do
it.
that.
I'm
And
gonna blow on it.
while you're doing that, I'm going to tell people you can get the recipes and tons of our Louisiana recipes. Actually, this is from my Trim and Terrific Louisiana Gulf Coast Favorites cookbooks. But sign up for my monthly newsletter on my website, which is just hollyclegg.com. And it has tons of easy recipes. Every month you're going to want to get it. Now,
This is like a warm blanket of goodness, Holly.
yeah.
Really
so,
good.
next time you don't have time to prepare dinner, you want something sort of comforting and soothing, this is a great soup. Like I said, in between a chili and in between a soup, savory, and it's very filling. The men in your life will like it too.
Oh, and Holly, did you remind folks if you want more information about Louisiana beef or this wonderful recipe that Holly has prepared for us today, you can always log on to our website at twilatv.org.
Holly Clegg's Trim and Terrific Kitchen was brought to you by the Louisiana Crawfish Promotion and Research Board, Louisiana Crawfish, Ask Before You Eat, and by the Louisiana Rice Promotion Board, Rice, a world of great ideas, and by the Louisiana Beef Industry Council. Beef, it's what's for dinner.